Okay, so our next product, this is Triplet SF. This is your basic generic three-way herbicide. It's no different than the old school Trimec. Okay, it's the same three active ingredients in it. I absolutely love it. I've been running this in our spray program during the round 1 and round 2 application. I've been running it for years. It basically will clean up almost any broadleaf weed that's out there during the spring. There are a few weeds out there you may notice that you may have to make a second application on, and that's fine, we do it as well. But for the most part, your wild onion, garlic, clover, dandelion, chickweed, henbit, plantain, buckhorn, it's just the list of weeds is vast as to what this product actually covers or actually will control. And this is a post-emergent, meaning you have to visually see the weed in your yard. It's post-germination, meaning it's already came up and you can see it. We're after the fact. That's when you apply the triplet. Okay, you spray it directly onto the leaf surface. If you're using our sprayer nozzle assembly and the trim nozzle, you've already gotten that video. You're well aware of the calibration. I'm sure you've been practicing. And basically you maintain those speeds that you walk for your calibration, and you apply this just like any other product, okay? With the low volume spraying, it may not visually look like you have put a lot of product on the weed, but you have to trust yourself. You have to trust your equipment, trust your calibration, trust your product, know that it's there. We get a lot of questions, well, how long does it take for a weed to die? Well, that all completely depends on the weed, the type weed it is, what the weed is, and it also depends on your weather conditions. If it's a little bit cooler, it's going to take longer. If it's a little bit warmer, it's going to go away a little bit quicker. Typically, 2 weeks, 21 days roughly, is when you should really start to see that weed. It should have really wilted up and begin to go away. I'd say after the 21-day mark, if it's not gone, you may want to mix up a little bit and hit it again, okay? You can mix this with pretty much anything. Be very cautious when you're using the natural adjuvant, all right? The rates for the triplet are 1 ounce per 1,000 square feet if you're using natural adjuvant. If you are not using natural adjuvant and some other type of adjuvant, you run 1.5 ounce per 1,000 square feet. The adjuvant saves you money, and not only that, it also has some health benefits to the plant. But we have noticed that in some cases you will get a pulpy consistency when you mix this at low volume. So what I recommend is when you're running, the adjuvant rate is 1.5 ounces covers 2,500 square foot. I would recommend that if you're going to mix up 2 gallons of this, or enough to treat 4,000 square feet at that 64 ounce rate, 64 ounce calibration rate, I would only put like 1 ounce of the adjuvant in that whole tank. Okay, it's still going to make this work more efficiently, even at that low of a rate. So that's something you may want to play around with. Don't go overboard with the natural adjuvant when you're running the triplet, because you may get some inconsistencies with mixing. That's one of the reasons we bumped the calibration up from 1 quart per 1,000 to 2 quarts per 1,000 to add more water to be able to compensate for some of these mixing issues. So hey, get out there and get your triplet sprayed. It's good. The only stipulation that I can possibly think of is if you're within 28 days of seeding, okay, meaning we're 28 days away and we're getting ready to do our overseeding, you don't want to spray this. This has to be sprayed 30 days. There has to be a 30-day window between your application of this and your overseeding, or it will conflict with your seed, okay? It'll hinder the germination process or whatever. Then another good rule of thumb is when we're kicking that 85 or 90 degree mark, You want to watch, be very careful with this, because you may even want to use less than an ounce, like a ½ ounce per 1,000, because this can be a little bit hot on your turf if the temperatures are 85 or 90 degrees. Another good stipulation with this is if the ground is very dry. Okay, this is something I don't think I've ever covered, but with your post-emergent herbicides, if the ground is dry, if the turf is stressed out, don't spray the weed control. Just look at the weed and know that help is around the corner, fall's around the corner, rain's coming at some point. If you have an irrigated yard, that it doesn't matter. As long as you're keeping the ground wet, you're completely fine to spray this. So I hope that answers all the questions about the triplet, and get out there and get those weeds knocked out.